I am tasked sa graduate school. So medyo mabigat yung graduate school kasi 22 programs. No, unlike halimbawa other colleges, they have 3, they have
Mm.
5, mga ganyan. Sa akin 22. Actually, no, like yung familiarity sa test, sometimes okay lang yun. Basta wag mo lang malalaman yung sagot. Like, for example, it's an abstract reasoning, no? Kasi maraming nilileak nila. Actually, yun yung problem. So what I do is I assure that all of the things that need to be submitted to yung mga statutory requirements, like for example, yung mga requirements ng CHED, requirements ng city, yung national requirements, yung mga documents na kailangan.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to everyone who are watching in this segment of EduTech Insider. By the way, today is one of the special days that we have because we are going to interview someone who is in the field of psychology. Joining us today is a distinguished psychologist, educator, and academic leader. With over 20 years in the academy, he is a professor, quality assurance coordinator, and laboratory head at PUP, as well as licensed psychometrician and ACUP accreditor. Let us all welcome Dr. Christopher Sassot. Doc, how are you?
Hello, Florante.
Yeah. Long time
Ayan,
no
nice seeing
see.
you again. Hello to all of the viewers. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
Yeah. Actually, sa mga viewers na hindi nakakaalam, si Dr. Sasot ay schoolmate ko. And in fact, one time during our college years, we met in PNU, Philippine Normal University. Right? So, hello Doc. What keeps you busy nowadays?
So, since yun nga nabanggit mo na PNU tayo,
Hmm.
parang pag PNU ka parang more than 80% mag-a-academe ka. So, I'm one of those 80%. Though yung course namin na sa psychology, ito yung mga medyo meron ka leeway ng konti na hindi malinya sa teaching. Kasi like,
Hmm.
pag psych, you can do human resources, no, you can do clinics, mga ganyan. Pero yun, nalinya ako sa education. So, to make the long story short, yan, parang I landed sa tertiary ed. Yan, so sa college. I'm now teaching in PUP, pero previously I nagtuturo na rin ako sa ibang mga universities and colleges.
Okay. All right. So, as of the moment, today you are both a teacher or a professor, and at the same time, you are also handling a department, right? In PUP.
Yes, yes.
So, what is that again? A laboratory head, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
What do you do as someone who is a quality assurance coordinator and at the same time a head of the laboratory at PUP? What do you do usually in that post?
Ayan. So basically, ano ba yung work ko? um, uh, Coordinator ako. What I do is, sa graduate school kasi ako particularly, no? So, several quality assurance coordinators in the university. So, I am tasked sa graduate school. So, medyo mabigat yung graduate school kasi 22 programs. No, unlike, halimbawa, other colleges, they have 3, they have
Mm.
5, mga ganyan. Sa akin, 22. So,
Mhm.
what I do is I actually, parang I assure that all of the things that need to be submitted to yung mga statutory requirements, like for example, yung mga requirements ng CHED, requirements ng city, yung national requirements, yung mga documents na kailangan is uh, prepared, well prepared, pag kailangan nandyan siya. So
Mhm.
basically that's my job. So whenever there's accreditation or merong kailangan na i-assure na the program is actually doing their job. Yan. So ako yung ako yung isa sa mga um, punong abala sa mga ganun. And pag lab head naman, what's good naman in the graduate school, typically wala na tayo masyadong lab.
Mm,
Ang lab namin dito is more on computer laboratories na lang. Sa psychology naman is mga counseling laboratories, no? For engineering kasi tsaka shared din yan with the undergrad, but um ayun, mostly mga softwares na lang, no? Statistical softwares, mga software for engineering, yan, no? So, yun, I make sure na well accounted for siya.
mm,
Nakakagamit yung mga dapat gumamit, yan. So,
yeah.
so yun, pag grad school hindi masyado kasi they don't come here unlike in the undergrad na talagang grabe silang
Regularly.
gumamit ng mga lab, yeah. Mm.
Yeah. And you are an accreditor, right?
Yes, yes.
What does it mean? Are you also checking other institutions aside from PUP?
Yes.
How
Yes,
do you do
oo.
that?
So,
Yeah.
di ba may mga levels yung accreditation? So, the higher number, that means mas mataas yung level ng accreditation. So, one of the accreditors, or just recently sa Mindanao, so I am one of the accreditors sa Mindanao Psychology Program nila. So ganun din, mag-check ka ng mga documents nila. So medyo mahirap din siya kasi syempre, di ba, coming from a state you also have to consider yung mga limitations ng university. Kaya parang may standards pero minsan tinitignan mo, oh, state you
Hmm.
to, okay ba kaya to? Parang okay na ba tong level na to? But of course, you have to adhere with the standards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Okay, that's a good one. Since you are in QA, you are a QA coordinator and at the same time a lab head at PUP. With the advancement of technology, how do you use tools like, the new tools that we have, AI? Do you use that AI in checking or somehow doing your job as QA?
Yeah, actually, sa totoo lang, I rarely use, just for this, no, pero sa teaching nagagamit ko siya. Like for example, for Excel files to arrange yung, mas madali kasi siya, no? Uh, Mostly for instruction, but for my job, which medyo classified yung mga information. So like for example, kung gusto kong ayusin, for example, yung using AI, I learned kasi na AI, whatever you input to AI, they might use it. Kumbaga, kasi machine learning siya, di ba? So parang
Correct, correct.
when you enter it, parang you're giving away your data. So nag-NDA pa nga ako. Like for example, kailangan nung i-share yung isang document, kailangan pa natin ng non-disclosure agreement. So
Correct.
as for AI, hindi masyado. Pero like for example, mga advanced tools like halimbawa mga Killbot, ganyan, just to be sure, minsan kasi even if we feel like sanay na tayo sa mga just to double check yan, yung mga Killbot, Grammarly, pero very rare din. Um, of course, I think yung Canva, yan, yung mga
Mm.
ganon, no? Mostly for presentation purposes. But as for AI, generative AI, siguro sa nature ng job ko, hindi masyado. No? Kasi yun nga, parang you're submitting data to,
That's true. In
yeah,
fact, when you are putting or giving data to AI, it seems like you are also feeding AI, right?
correct.
Pero you've been also a psychometrician.
Yes.
And I don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong, you also handled yung mga records ng mga employees or students
Yes, yes.
who are taking probably psychological
Yes.
examinations, right?
Yes.
So, do you think when you do exams for that, ready na ba yung exam bago dumating sa'yo, or you also do those exams na ibinibigay sa kanila? And do you
Uh,
think possible si AI magamit mo to
Oo.
create
Actually, no,
exams for that?
malaking malaking issue din sa testing, no?
Mm,
Just like other disciplines, minsan nagiging issue na rin yan kasi like for example, yung human touch. No, but I think yung isang major talaga, which is maganda na banggit mo, sir, na um, for the longest time kasi what we do is we blindly follow. Like for example, sa amin, meron na talagang standardized na test.
correct. Mm,
No, so parang sundan mo lang siya talaga like ano yung instructions, ano yung so before ganon. But now, uh practice na din namin to develop our own norms. O
mhm,
kasi like for example, na-develop yung mga norms nun sa kung saan siya din-develop. Halimbawa, uy, measure of this variable, halimbawa, anxiety, depression. Pero ang samples nila ay European countries, Western countries. So, yun. Kaya, for some, no, talagang nag-aano sila ng nilolocalize nila. So, you develop your own norms para malaman mo kung ano yung high, low, average.
correct.
No? Pero, yan, yung iba, kino-consider na lang din nila kung saan ba na standardize or ano ba yung mga samples para like for example may mga Asian countries naman o kaya nasama ng Philippines kahit pa paano. So
Mm,
you can use it siguro na directly yung manual niya. Pero ayun kasi may issue talaga ng cultural appropriation din ng mga tests, no? And diretso na rin yung sa halimbawa yung automation ng tests kasi yung reliability and validity, specifically the validity of the test, na-develop siya nung hindi pa uso mga computers.
okay.
So even yung change ng mode, it might affect the
Score.
uh, the scores and yung standardization niya, no. Pero ngayon widely used na rin yung online exams o kaya at least computerized. Minsan kasi takot din yung mga yung mga psych, particularly kasi meron tayong oath of confidentiality, di ba? The internet is not a safe place, di ba? So parang yung mga classified data niyang ng mga tao, iba, no? So po pwedeng usually yung ginagawa natin is yung local networks lang natin. So within the university, within the school.
Kung- yung someone who will take the exam should
Mm-hmm.
go there even though it's a computer interface exam.
Yes.
He or she needs to be there in that area para mag-take
Yes.
ng psychological exam.
Yes. Oo. Kasi hindi natin sure, no, yung kung yung firewall ba natin is it enough to ensure na hindi makukuha yung mga data ng mga tao. Kasi it's really a big thing now, 'di ba, yung
Correct.
data privacy. So
Hmm.
so yun.
Pero
And
well,
binibili din kasi siya like actually yung like for example yung online versions ng mga exam binibili din lang siya. Tapos usually may mga hindi siya replicable. So like for example, there are certain number of computers lang na pwedeng magamit yun. So
mm,
hindi siya no. And once kasi na I remember nung pandemic na may nausong test. Kasi once na
ano yun?
na-publicize kasi ang isang test, tas parang lahat na gumagamit nun, yung familiarity ng test, halimbawa lahat na familiar dun sa test, nawawalan na siya ng validity. So parang ay
Oh,
alam ko na kung paano siya sagutan or parang ano. So hindi na siya valid. So somehow gine-gatekeep talaga ng sa psychology yung mga tests so that maging reliable siya and valid yung results.
paano nga yun, Doc, no? There were some exams, psychological exams, and I think I don't know how do you differentiate behavioral and psychological exam.
Mhm.
Pero usually, kung ano yung exam na sa isang company, yun din naman ang exams na binibigay in the other company. Right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
kapag yung isang empleyado would try the job hopping,
Mhm, mhm.
nag-try siya sa probably 2 to 3 companies and with the same exams, pagdating sa pangatlong exam, alam na alam niya na paano sagutin eh.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
do you think that would affect as well the decision making ng isang HR or someone who is in the QA na i-hire o hindi i-hire yung isang tao?
Yeah. Um, Actually, no, like yung familiarity sa test, sometimes okay lang yun. Basta wag mo lang malalaman yung sagot. Like, for example, it's an abstract reasoning, no? Kasi maraming nilileak nila. Actually, yun yung problem. Natatawa ko minsan, uy, may psych exam daw, magre-review. Hindi dire-review yung psychology exam kasi it's like you're classifying and walang high and low score dyan. So
That's
parang
true.
walang unlike mga test na meron kang markers ng excellent, wala.
Mm,
Ang psychological test usually, it just classifies kung yung personality test na yan, or aspects ng ano mo, ng personality. So, ayun, okay lang yung maging familiar ka dun sa mga items. Basta, for example, di ba parang wag namang araw-araw ko magte-test. Di ba? Uy, punta ako dito, same, same, same. So parang maaral mo siya or parang may recall ka. So doon nawawala yung validity. But like for example, kung halimbawa it was, meron namang pagitan, 2 weeks, ganyan. So somehow, hindi mo naman matatandaan yun. Lalo na yung mga test, di ba, mga more than 50 at least items yan. And medyo mahirap yung mga choices. So,
mm.
yun. Kaya ako personally, sinasabi ko, huwag niyong aralin kasi hindi na accurate yung magiging result ng test niyo.
Yeah, that's
No?
true.
Mm.
And in fact, yung psychological exams, this is not like an ano no, aptitude. Is that an
Yeah.
aptitude exam?
I'm
Iba.
sorry.
Aptitude exam, APT.
Uh, Aptitude usually, yan talaga yung makikita natin sa mga industries kasi they want to know your potentials or kung saan ka magaling. Yan. So, yun, okay yun. No? Pero, yun yung typical na binibigay sa mga hiring, ganyan, sa
Uh,
mga applicants. So just that is just one aspect of screening, no? And
okay,
usually hindi naman very content specific. So like may mga konting mga arithmetic, no? Kaya may konting. So parang yung universal capacity ng individual to perform.
correct.
ah Yan. Kahit naalala ko nga may NCAE, hindi na natin naabutan yun, ano, sir.
Wala,
Di ba?
uh,
Like, parang i-measure kung saan ka ba mas inclined. So saan ka ba ano ba yung saan ka ba magaling? More on
mm.
scientific, social sciences. So it's really valuable din yung mga ganong klase ng tools. So yun.
So aptitude is more in skill based, right?
Yes, yes. Mm.
Okay. Now yung psychological
Yes, yes,
exam,
sir.
it's more on the consistency. Tama ba? Kasi minsan piniperfect nung ano, test taker na akala niya lahat ng mga magaganda, yun ang dapat na sagot. Pero to the point na nagiging inconsistent siya in the middle of the exam. Kasi iba yung I don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but this is how I see it. The psychological exam is like rearranging of the same questions lang naman din. Sorry. Am I correct
Yeah,
with that?
yeah.
Tapos
Yes,
until
yes.
na
Actually talaga
mm,
yun. Parang ang tawag kasi doon ay ano, parang social desirability. Kaya sinasabi ko nga, lalo na sa ating mga Pilipino, kaya nga minsan issue rin yan sa ating mga Pilipino. Sa tayong mga Pilipino, minsan plastic tayo. Like, hindi naman talaga yun yung nagde-describe sa'yo. Pero dahil feeling mo, ito yung, baka pag yung totoo yung sinagot ko, hindi na maging maganda yung tingin nila sa akin. Hindi yun yung sasagutin. So, yun, social desirability ang tawag doon. So, yun ang minsan may harap sa mga self-reports, no? That is why, aside from these tests, na talagang nagko-follow up tayo ng actual interview question, background checks, lalo na sa Filipinos. Ako, sorry to say, no, sa mga listeners na, mga Filipino kasi mga plastic. Kaya nga, meron tayong tinatawag na ano, na katutubong Pilipino. Sabi
mm,
nila ang mas accurate pa daw na pag-measure ng personality o kaya ng sa loobin ng tao yung interview. Kasi tayo, di ba, like for example, pero kailangan dumating ka dun sa level na nakapagpalagayang loob ka na. Kasi di ba kapag
okay.
halimbawa bago ka pa lang or alam mo, teacher sa student, syempre, nagsisinungaling yung estudyante. Pero kung halimbawa, palagay yung loob sa'yo, dumating ka na dun sa ganong antas na meron ka ng
Open.
like maring loob mo sa tao. 'Di ba? Ano ka, mag-share ka sa kanya. So, yun yung mga actually issues in assessment yan. So, kaya kailangan pili tayo ng mga highly yung mataas yung ano, yung reliability and validity niya. No, lalo na kung may local norms tayo.
I see. Now, during your exam or probably interview, you mentioned na nakaka-feel ka ng red flags. Tama ba? May mga red flags din ba sa mga applicants or even students, whether teacher or whether yung mga estudyante who's trying to apply as, a scholar in PUP, something like that?
Yun, actually yung mga ano, yung mga halatang tamang memorized yung yung oo, tsaka yung talagang ano, yung minsan yung too good to be true na mga answers. Yung parang
Mm,
they don't want to show vulnerability, ganyan, o kaya yung weak side nila, no. But generally, ako kasi personally, especially if halimbawa scholastic, syempre number one din naman talaga yan is yung academic records, which is, yun naman ang isang issue ko ngayon kasi I don't know if you've heard of the term grade hyperinflation or grade
ano
inflation.
yan?
Yung mga panahon natin, di ba, maka 80 ka lang,
80.
90 ka lang saya.
Mal-
Ngayon lahat sila 95.
Malungkot pa yan pag 95. Dapat
Oo,
mga
galit
99
pa.
or 8.
Oo, di ba? So, yun yung actually yun yung mga I think no, isa sa mga kailangang i-address natin sa educational system natin. Some would say na uy dahil yan sa OBE, dahil puro outcomes. Siyempre yung outcomes usually yung mga formative assessments natin in between we do not measure, di ba? Ang mahalaga yung dulo. So they have enough time to ano. And sometimes yun, parang hindi authentic yung ano natin. So, yun yung
Mm.
mga issues na I think important din. Lalo na ngayon, alala ko, sir, i-share ko na lang din.
Yeah, sure.
Kasi di ba ngayon medyo hybrid na tayo or blended. So,
Mm.
alam mo yung mga estudyante, gusto nilang online exams. Google Forms. So, bisa at taas, halos perfect or matataas yung mga ano nila kahit i-randomize mo. Tapos ano, ang nangyari, ang final assessment, sabi ko kasi mag face-to-face tayo. Eh, nung una gusto nila, sabi, sir, kasi gano'n ganyan ka, ayaw na. Sabi, gano'n na lang, sir. Um, kasi in-announce ko na, sige, online na nga lang. Tapos in-announce ko na, I'll be using a platform like um, yung Kahoot or yung quizzes. I don't know if our audience is familiar with that na
Mm.
hindi siya static, no? So hindi mo pwedeng copy yung mga questions. Pipindutin mo yung tamang sagot and it's flash na your screen. Tapos may limited time for you to answer it. So, true enough, nung yun yung pina-exam ko, yun, may mga mabababa yung scores, may mga matataas din naman. Pero, dun mo makita na parang mas authentic yung ganong klase ng assessment. No? Kasi, magagaling na rin kasi yung mga bata ngayon. And better than us in terms of technology, di ba? So, we really have to step up para mas authentic. No, hindi naman sa inuutakan but I think kailangan din natin gawin yan as educators kasi this is the world we live in and I
That's
think ang
true.
ganda ng platform na to kasi yung technology talaga sobrang bilis niya.
Mm.
So I always tell my students nga din na baka nga mas magaling pa kayo sa akin and baka dumating yung point na hindi na natin kailangan ng teachers. And I believe that. No, parang um, turuan mo sila ng basic skill to learn. And kapag halimbawa na-reach na nila yung point na they can learn on their own, yung mga nasa higher ed talagang facilitation na lang because you have all of this the tools, you have all of the things that you need. So ayun, naswerte sila kasi tayo di ba noon punta tayo sa library,
Mm.
maghahanap pa tayo ng index card na hanapin pa natin yung so ngayon at the tip of your fingers, no? Pero yun nga nakakalungkot kasi yung AI talaga I think it's one of bean or boon talaga siya, no? In the
Mm.
right hands it's okay pero kung halimbawa uh, students will ask them to AI to write for them, and they have to claim it, kumbaga they claim it as their own. So doon na tayo nagkakaroon ng problema.
I see. Okay. Now, Doc, when it comes to somehow keeping the records of your students and those teachers under probably under the university where you are working with, no, those are very important, right? To keep all those records. Now, what if someone would like to get information about other students or other teachers as well na under you, and probably you have all those records. How do you keep confidentiality? Kasi somehow you're working in the same company rin naman,
Mm.
and I think they need it.
Mm.
So how do you keep that and at the same time maintain good relationship with those teachers and people as well?
Actually, ayun lang, kasi kailangan talaga na you set boundaries. Kasi lalo na ngayon, we really have to be very uh, familiar with data privacy. Like, somehow, nagiging hurdle din siya minsan sa facilitation ng mga processes, di ba? Kaya lang kasi, yun nga, kumbaga, may mga implications din kasi na negative if we do not um, we do not consider other people. Like, alam mo, simple grades lang yung nabanggit mo kanina. Simple grades lang. Alam mo, isang estudyante gusto niyang malaman yung grade ng isa pang student.
Hmm.
So, hindi yun pwede. Kasi, though we have the right sa data privacy natin, hindi siya absolute, no? Parang, um, yung sa'yo lang yung pwede. So,
That's
but
good.
for others, no, kapag meron ng kinalaman yung ano, hindi na siya pwede. And syempre, meron din naman tayong mga ano rin dyan, may mga implicit din. Like for example, syempre, nagpunta ka sa school, syempre, lahat ng mga sasabit mo sa school, parang you agree to your data to be given to specific people. So, pero dapat very strict talaga. No? And kung hindi nila maintindihan, bahala sila.
Mhm.
Ayun.
Yeah. But you're still
Yeah,
keeping
sige, go ahead. Sorry.
papers, no? Documents, physical documents, aside from those
Yeah,
records online.
yeah. Usually, no, we aim for paperless na din naman talaga as much as possible. Pero yun nga, sometimes for record keeping, we need to keep at least yung mga important, like for example, yung summary na for documentary purposes. But I think dadating din talaga tayo sa time na we do not need uh, paper for documentation. No,
Hmm.
kasi like, for example, no, problema natin, baka hindi na ano yan, retrieve if hindi naman siya sobrang um, classified, di ba? Just one email, ang dami mo ng kopya. So, I think darating din tayo sa time na gano'n. But for now, I guess nandun pa tayo sa time na we need to still keep certain uh, hard copies.
Uh,
Yan. Pero eventually siguro hindi na din talaga.
pero pinapractice din ba yung ano ngayon? Kasi sa Data Privacy Act, ang nakalagay doon is once you collect data, you have to somehow keep it in a proper place. You
Dispose.
clean it, and then you
Yeah, yeah.
dispose that right after a few specific years, probably
Yes.
2 to 3 years. I don't know sa PUP,
Yes.
but for the others institution and private institution, usually 2 years or months, minsan months kapag
Yeah.
organization. No? Uh, how do you dispose? Kasi sobrang dami niyan. I believe thousands and thousands of enrollees every year ang PUP all over the Philippines.
Um, so yung EOMS namin, tsaka we have a IQMSO. So meron tayong mga enrolled processes on how to dispose of these documents, no? Pero before we dispose, usually kino-convert natin siya into a digital form.
Oh.
Kaya actually dito meron ako mga digital scanners dito. So usually yun in tawag dito, sinishred yung yung mga documents. And
Yeah.
tama ka, depending on the type of document, meron siyang lifespan. No? So like for example, no, 5 years. I think 5 years yung pinakamahaba sa mga important documents natin
Correct.
dito. So minsan 2 years, no? If that's research data, minsan 1 year lang. So
Mm-mm.
yun, and then kailangan i-dispose na din talaga agad. Yun. And yun, talagang hindi siya ibebenta kasi minsan ganun, 'di ba? Uy,
That's
white paper
true.
yan, ibenta natin. So hindi siya gano'n. So talagang may proper disposal din talaga.
Correct, correct. So that's how trust of the students then na
Yeah.
magbi-build, na makapag-build kasi unang-una, they know that their information, personal information are really safe naman, right? Now,
Yes.
you mentioned earlier na before you dispose yung mga hard copies, of course, it should be converted into digital or digitalized. Uh, Somehow there's a threat as well. The threat is like, attacks, cyber
Mm.
attacks. How do you prepare your records, yourself in your department kapag ka may
Yeah,
mga ganong klase?
yeah.
Kasi rampant yan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, no, ayaw na babanggit pero
Yeah,
iba even yung universities and parang just recently, di ba?
yeah,
I don't know if you, di ba yung
that's they
edu.ph,
do.
parang,
Yeah, correct.
oo, parang it shows signs na parang merong cyber attack ganyan. So actually sa parang dito din before nung nagkaroon, um of course, uh yan, that happens, no. Syempre preventive muna, una talaga, number one, dapat you know the weaknesses of your of your system. Tapos kailangan meron din talagang offline na digital copies aside from the ones that you kasi kung halimbawa you have a cloud o kaya like kami, we are subscribed to MS Teams.
Mm-hmm.
So karamihan ng mga documents sa MS Teams. Pero yun nga, I think it's something that's out of our control.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the end of of quality kumbaga kami na nagde-deliver, I think it's really more of the responsibilities talaga ng ng mga
IT,
nasa IT,
correct.
ng mga
Mm-hmm.
system administrators, to ensure, no, kasi yung trust din ng mga clients, kaya kailangan yun, no. Pero hopefully strengthen kasi I think even yung mga sobrang sophisticated systems minsan na 'di ba, na-infiltrate yan. So I guess we really need to um think of ways para ma-fortify yung ating yung ating mga firewalls tsaka mga
Yes,
systems natin in place. So yun, kasi lalo na sa atin kasi sa um kasi 'di ba even yung government nga natin na-hack, 'di ba?
that's true.
I forgot kung ano yung nakuha daw yung mga public data natin. So it's somewhat scary, no, pero I think we have to um trust our administrators to do their job. And syempre, siguro sa end natin, kailangan nating mag-prepare din, especially yung mga documents that we can salvage, no?
Yeah.
I- i-secure din natin yung mga pwede nating i-secure.
Yeah, that's true. At saka yung gaya ng binanggit nyo kanina na meron ka dapat another copy of that is safe,
Yeah.
secure, and never can't be touched by anyone, only
Correct,
the
correct.
admin, ano? Kasi I think this is not only happening in one institution, but probably in ang daming institutions nangyayari pagpasok ng data sa digitalize nila, na-convert na nila, biglang na-hack, nawala yung lahat ng data, nabura. So they go back to zero, they collect again the information, which makes the students or the other applicants, or probably yung mga mismo nag-work na, they find it very uncomfortable kasi paulit-ulit ang pangolekta ng information. Dahil di naman nila pwedeng sabihin na sorry, na-hack kami na nabura lahat. Naka-mute ka, Doc.
Yeah. So yun,
Okay.
tama yun. Tapos yun pa, pero syempre, no, paano kung halimbawa na-dispose nyo na?
That's
Wala
true.
na, forever gone na yun, diba? So, yun, kailangan talaga may backup.
Correct. Do you think, Doc, since ang isang QA, as of the moment, meron talagang defined job, QA, just like you are, do you think it will be redefined in the future? Most especially pag ito pumapasok na new technology, AI ngayon. Do you think or do you see in the future that you will be working with a robot checking the quality of the papers, or someone who is applying in a certain post?
Yeah. I think, hopefully, no, hindi naman. Pero like, similar AI technology, probably, no? Ako kasi minsan, di ba parang masyado natin kinakatastrophize. But these are things that we cannot avoid. And they're actually here already. So
Yeah.
I think, kailangan nating mag-adjust, no? Like, um, instead of thinking of it as something that is a threat,
Mhm.
no, it might be a threat, really, but what should we do to capitalize on these technologies, no? So halimbawa sa QA, no, actually malaking tulong din sila kasi it helps you to organize your data, and also, no, kung paano mo ba gagamitin yung mga technologies na yan para halimbawa mas madali mong ma-assess yung patterns, for example, ng language ng mga tao. So, halimbawa i-anonymize mo naman siya. So, ibig sabihin, there's a big potential na makakatulong talaga sila with processing of data. Like, for example, transcription. Alam mo, laking tulong nila sa transcription. Kasi
Correct.
actually, like, sa atin, yun yung isa sa pinakamahirap gawin, mag-transcribe. Alam mo, interview na 30 minutes, mga 5 oras may tatranscribe yan. Pero halimbawa,
Wow.
if you use AI, real time. Habang
That's good.
nagsasalita, natatranscribe na, di ba? So, I think we can think of ways on how these technologies can help us, rather than think of it as something na kailangan natin iwasan. Kasi time and time again naman no, na pag may bagong technology, kinakatakutan, pero eventually ma-assimilate naman natin yan. So I think we should have a growth mindset and think of things like how these can help us, rather than think of it as something that we should avoid.
Wow. Okay. Last word, Doc. Something that you would like to say sa mga aspiring na maging katulad nyo rin. Yung laging nagtatanong sa inyo ng how to be you. Okay.
Nako. Oo, parang hindi ko sure kung kung dapat ba kayo mag-aspire na ba yun? Pero in a serious note, ako there's still no shortcut to success. I think kailangan nyo pa din, kasi ngayon kasi ang dami shortcuts. No, I think yun yung medyo nagiging problem natin, no. Click culture, isang pindot nandyan na. But still, wala pa tayong technology para yung nalaman mo ay maintindihan mo agad. So,
Okay, yeah.
di ba parang, halimbawa, you can synthesize something. So parang halimbawa 100 pages yan, AI please synthesize. No? Pero kung halimbawa sinabit mo lang siya without reading it, wala pa rin silbi yun. So I guess there's no shortcuts to learning. Still, kailangan pa rin nating malaman yung mga dapat nating malaman. Um, Competence is something that you earn, no, and no amount of technology can actually help you do that. So kailangan mo pa ring magsikap, mag-aral.
That's true.
And yung AI nga actually galing din sa atin yung mga nalalaman siya. Ina-arrange niya lang, advance lang siya sobra, no? But um, for me, if you want to become an educator and if you want um, to be the hero of our country, kasi hero
Wow.
daw kailangan you are always one step ahead, no? I'm not saying that na sinasabi ko one step ahead ako, but dapat yun yung mindset natin as teachers, no? Like for example ako, I watch TikTok, no? Randomly, natitingin ako ng TikTok kasi you have to be relatable to students. You need to also be part
Mm,
of their world because uh, when you are alienated by your students, no, mas nahihirapan ka to actually uh, to win them.
Manonood na
So,
rin pala ako ng TikTok, ha?
may mga reels sa Facebook. You just parang tingnan mo rin yung mundo in another perspective. Kasi, di ba like, di ba halimbawa pag may edad ka na, umiiba na kasi rin yung mo, di ba? Syempre, doon ka naman din, nandun ka pa rin naman. Pero,
That's true.
sometimes you take a glimpse of what it feels like to be in their shoes. Para, di ba minsan sir, nanood ka ng Family Feud, may tinanong, tapos inis na inis ka, bakit yan yung sagot na ba yung, ba't ganyan yung sagot niya, hindi ko alam niya. Di ba parang minsan out of touch sila kasi di ba mayayaman yun, mga artista yun. So hindi mo
Yeah,
sila masisi kasi iba yung mundo nila. Same is true when you're teaching, no? You cannot understand them unless you know ano ba yung gusto nila, ano ba yung uso ngayon, ano ba yung mga pinag-e-emotan nila. So, parang gagawin mo siyang entry point para makapasok sa mundo nila. But of course, hindi naman yung be all and end all. So hindi mo ko nasagot yung tanong mo, sir.
yeah,
Basta
yeah,
syempre,
that's true.
mag-aral pa din. Mag-aral and always be one step ahead sa mga students na challenge yan, actually challenge talaga yung technology ngayon. Um, Kaya believe din ako sa mga medyo elderly na ng mga teachers because they have to work doubly hard to keep up with the students.
That's true. All right, thank you so much, Doc. Ang dami naming natutunan ngayon and I believe pati ang mga audience na paulit-ulit panonoorin siguro ito para magets lang yung mga valuable lessons na tinuro nyo kanina. Okay?
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much for spending your time. I know that you are so much busy. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
now get your dinner.
Basta ikaw, thank you so
Okay,
much.
Doc. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye everyone. Bye-bye.